Top five, top five, top five.
Southern Topical back with another video. I'm Strange Wang, he is Nate. Today we're doing top 5 revenge films because The Northman is coming out and it looks like a revenge movie because he says revenge in the trailer. He's like, I'm gonna go back and kill that motherfucker. He ain't say it like that, but close enough. He'll tell you how it works, our top 5s that is, and where you can find our social media and things of that nature.
If you scroll down the description box below, pop it open. Those are the links to our social media accounts. So click on those, give us a follow. We also have links to our Coffee account and our Patreon account. If you'd like to help our channel grow financially, we'd appreciate that, and it's much needed. So click on those, and you get some good bonus stuff. If you're not going to do that, subscribing's free. So go ahead and click the subscribe button now, please. If you don't know how we do our top 5s, he'll start with his 5 and 4. I'll give my 5 and 4, 3, 2, 3, 2. Then we trade off number 1s. We also have something called the Zemeckis rule, which just means to save time. If we both have the same movie on our list, but one person has it 2 spots or higher, then we'll just talk about it when we get to it on the higher one.
My number 5 is going to be A Promising Young Woman. It's very serial killer-esque, how they go about the revenge. And the revenge is, you date rape my sister, led to her death. Now you go try and date rape me. I'm going to fake it. You're going to jail or get murdered. One of the two. So that's how it goes. And I like that a lot because it reminds me of Dexter, Morgan, the serial killer show, not the fucking cartoon, but the little redheaded.
Get out of my laboratory!
His mom's super fucking thick though.
That's a fact.
I like that a lot. It gives it a different factor to the revenge movie because it's so calculating and things like that. Usually revenge movies is, you killed my wife, brother, sister, whatever the fuck. Now I'm going to kill all your men that are basically just no-name henchmen to get to you. And it switches it up. And it has conflict in it because after Melina, Dr. Octopus is like, I'm sorry, do what you want. And that has conflict in it, and Bo Burnham's in it, that has more conflict. It's a very complex dive into what a revenge movie is and how the person getting the revenge feels. And I like it a lot because of that. My number 4, probably controversial, probably is Zemeckis, John Wick.
That is a Zemeckis. So my number 5 is Kill Bill. Just taking both of them.
Zemeckis.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so my number 4.
Lady Snowblood?
No. So I have 2 on my list that are pretty interesting because normally when you think of a revenge film, the person that we are watching trying to get revenge is generally our protagonist, right?
Right!
But that doesn't necessarily mean there can't be a revenge film where like the plot is centric around revenge. So I took kind of a creative stance and I went with Gone Girl.
Okay.
Because the entire film is about her trying to get revenge on Ben Affleck. And literally, I mean, her still continuing to try to do that throughout the film because, you know, he manages to do some things to save himself. She's got to call some audibles. And like literally, ultimately, it is just about like getting back at him till the very end of the movie, which she kind of wins. So yeah, it's an incredible film, kind of a roller coaster, some halfway decent twists and turns in there. Love the way it's shot, very good, really good performances, and a different take on what we think of when we think of a revenge film. Yeah,
for sure. My number 3, this character movie, 50 Cent said they got something similar. Because 50 Cent fears no man, warrior, swing swords like who?
Conan?
Exactly. Conan the Barbarian is basically the Northman. And when we did the trailer reaction, I said that. And everyone was like, well, actually, that's the... Guess what?
I don't give a fuck!
That shit like Conan the Barbarian, he saw his parents die. So guess what? He's going to fucking work his ass off, become a big jacked motherfucker. He's taking that thing, he's rolling it around and around and around, and he's going to go kill that snake-loving motherfucker. And it's Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 80s. Tell me something better than that. It's hard to do. My number 2 also took a bit of a creative route because you think of the person getting revenge, you want to root for him usually, right?
Yeah.
Not this person. You kind of do. He's very charismatic in a weird, cynical, sick way.
We're gonna have the same one.
Cape Fear.
Yes. Nice.
1960s.
Yeah,
obviously.
that's my number 2.
That De
as
Niro
well.
one can suck unwashed toes.
Yeah.
This one, like from the beginning, you're just like, bro, this guy's evil. He just got out of jail. What does he want to do? Usually, when people get out of jail, they want to have a beer. They want to do some drugs. They want to get some glorious dome.
Well, he does kind of do all those things right
He
after
does,
he gets.
but that's
out
not
of
what he wants. That's not what he wants.
Yeah, that's not the
He
purpose.
wants to kill
Yeah.
Counselor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's so charismatic. He's a
I mean, does he even want to kill him, or does he just want to torture him? You know?
torture him. You
Yeah,
know, like
yeah.
he wants to get revenge because he put him in jail. Gregory Peck. You think of good people from that era of film?
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Stewart, Gregory Peck.
Yeah.
Boom.
Wholesome.
There you go.
Oh, so wholesome.
You think of villains, Night the Hunter, Cape Fear, Max Cady, like Robert Mitchum. He has that screen presence just to like invoke this like, I like you but I shouldn't.
Yeah.
This off-putting fear, this off-putting feeling. So because of that, it's on my list because he wants to get revenge on Counselor.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I also just loved that, like, again, just like you said, and kind of what I said about Gone Girl, not always what you think of when you think of a revenge film, because
And traditional.
like it's just so easy to just put your shoes in the protagonist, so you'd almost think of it as like just a thriller or a defense film, but it is a revenge film. Literally, the driving plot of this movie is homeboy wants revenge.
And it does kind of have that point of like, you're kind of rooting for Max Cady in a weird way, because like
Maybe you were.
No, like think about it. Gregory Peck, he's like going to all these different lengths to like get back at him, and he hasn't done anything really bad yet.
Well, yeah.
And then as soon as he beats the woman, Gregory Peck doesn't seem like such a nematode anymore.
Yeah.
So they switch roles in a way, and then that's where all the investment comes from Gregory Peck.
Well, and that's what's so great about the movie is that like it really does a good job of kind of making you question whether or not Peck is just a little paranoid. But you also still kind of know that like Katie really is behind all this stuff, but that lack of dang evidence. So yeah, it is an incredibly thrilling movie. The 60s one is head and shoulders above the remake, despite all the names associated with it. But yeah, that's what
maybe my favorite thriller of all time.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it's like
That and Rear Window.
way up there.
If somebody
Yeah.
asked me if one of these movies never existed again, that would be the harsh choice of my life, probably.
Yeah. That was your number 2.
That was my number 2.
Okay, so my number 3 is V for Vendetta. You mentioned something about like with a revenge movie, a lot of times it's like something bad happens to someone, they go through all the henchmen to get to the final boss, if you will.
Essentially.
V for Vendetta has like a touch of those elements, but like it goes way deeper into, well, it's obviously a massive like political statement on top of being a revenge movie, but like this guy, he's not just going after revenge for like the individuals that did the things to him. He's taking out the whole system that caused it. So it's not like he's taking out flunkies and like henchmen on the way. He's taking out like literally the entire political structure, just starting at the lowest person on that, who are all still very important people, while, you know, developing feelings for Natalie Portman, using some extreme measures to like show her how bad things really are, invoking literally an entire revolution amongst a population. And it's also just like so fun to watch. Incredibly like equal amounts of style and substance. The dialogue is incredible.
Time out.
Because it's not just some dude who's really good at kicking ass going
Did you
after
zoom in?
things. No, it doesn't show the whole.
Oh, thought your head was chopped off.
Yeah, it doesn't show the whole.
That's what happened in Conan.
Oh, nice.
Spoiler alert.
So yeah, he's not just some dude who's good at kicking ass, trying to, you know, win. He's incredibly intelligent and cultured and educated, and is also really good at kicking ass and making homemade explosives and manipulating systems. So, and then my number 2 was Cape Fear. So your number 1 is Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm taking both of them, honestly. So, there's not one thing I really dislike about this movie. You got top 5 greatest themes,
Have you rewatched it?
scores. No.
You used to not act super high on Kill Bill, so I'm just surprised.
I mean, like, the score alone.
I mean, I'm thrilled.
Top
Don't get
5
me
greatest
wrong.
scores of
Yeah.
all time, in my opinion.
It's debatable.
Like, nothing beats that whistle.
Mm-hmm.
Shit fire. If I knew how to whistle, I would whistle that shit right now. But I don't. And the protagonist is so easy to get behind because it's a Tarantino film, and she's been in other Tarantino films, so on the rip, you automatically like her a little bit.
Sure, yeah.
And from the first fight you see her in, she's like fucking throwing cereal boxes at motherfuckers and shit.
Right.
That shit's fire. There's comedy in it. There's build. Every fight, every situation is different. Every level, I guess you would say, is different. Their styles different. The Crazy 88 scene is way different from the fight she had in the trailer with the snake. You know, like she's using swords and she's throwing snakes at motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Switches up. Then it gets to build and it gets personal. The story like blossoms into something else.
Yeah.
And then you get the backstory within the story and everything. Beautifully shot, Tarantino style. My love of karate films, obviously, like very influenced by. Tarantino was very influenced by those, and you see it.
She's
in this.
literally wearing Bruce Lee's outfit.
Exactly. Like there's scenes ripped straight from karate films, kung fu films from the 70s, and this movie, things like that.
Yeah.
And they have a car named the Pussy Wagon.
That's true.
You're a fucking
Pig.
What I really love about it as a revenge film is like just her. Like I don't think anyone, at least on my list so far, that's like the protagonist like faces as much adversity as she does to like get to her ultimate goal. So it's really just like the character's resolve. Like put me in a coma, I'll figure that shit out. Bury me in a coffin, I'll figure that shit out. Like send 88 motherfuckers after me.
Crazy.
I'll figure that shit out.
88 crazy motherfuckers.
Like, no matter what weapon you use, no matter how ceremoniously or unceremoniously we do this thing, I'm going to figure that shit out. And she does figure that shit out. And ultimately, she kills Bill. So, like, great title.
The reason why it's my number 1, first movie I thought of.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So, Northman, what can we do for that? Revenge movies, Kill Bill immediately came to my head.
Yeah.
And then I Googled revenge films. I didn't want to miss any.
Yeah, I did too.
First one, Kill Bill. And I was like, you've earned it.
Yeah.
And that was your number 5?
Yeah. Well, my number 1 was your number 4, so.
Yeah. Kind of opposites there.
Yeah. Before I get to my number 1, which is obviously John Wick, because it was the Zemeckis from earlier, what I didn't really struggle, because ultimately I decided it wasn't enough. How would you have felt if I had put like The Princess Bride low on my list?
What do you mean low? Like 5?
Yeah, because like the plot of the movie is not a
The
revenge film,
subplot is a
but
revenge
Inigo
film.
Montoya is like a thread throughout of it.
There's just so many good revenge films out there.
That's what I said. I was
Yeah,
like,
like-
not enough. But yeah, I agree. I just want to hear your thoughts.
Like, it was hard for me to, like,
and also
narrow
just
it
kind
down
of
to
wondered what anyone
5.
else might think. Yeah,
Because, like, Promising Young Woman, that's more of a movie I would like to make.
yeah,
That's something that, like, is different. It stands out, which is why it became my number 5. But, like,
yeah. I mean,
you could definitely just move around pieces
yeah.
and just put whatever you
I'm just
want
ready
to
for
in there.
people to ask where Taken's at.
Y'all are tripping.
John Wick doesn't need a lot of explaining. It's arguably like the biggest like action franchise to have started in the last 10 years. It's incredible. They killed his dog. He gets revenge. And honestly, 2 and 3 are all still just a direct result of like him saying "fuck that" to these motherfuckers killing my dog and not giving a shit about whatever the consequences are. So, some of the best action scenes we've ever seen shot. Definitely some of the best like gun fu stuff we've ever gotten. Keanu Reeves is absolutely incredible in the role, like this kind of the muted hero. He doesn't say much, but when he says something, it's incredibly important. It's just one of those things where it's like, obviously, people always just say, "Oh, they killed his dog, so he's blah blah blah." It wasn't that they just killed his dog. His dog was literally the last representation of the love that his wife had for him. So it matters, and that's incredibly noble. I can't think of many things to have a better revenge quest for.
I don't know. Somebody ripped my Richard Pryor shirt. I had to go and kill some motherfuckers over that. You heard? The reason why it's my number 4 and not my number 1, it's not my favorite film in the franchise. So for that reason alone, it's like.
I think that you could have made an argument that if we took both Kill Bills, like John Wick 1 literally starts.
But this is our favorite
like
revenge movies. Obviously, Schwarzenegger for me is going to be super fucking high. Cape Fear, as I said, one of my favorite thrillers of all time, if not my favorite thriller of all time. It's 1 or 2.
Yeah,
and thriller is probably my favorite genre.
I'm just saying, you could have taken all 3. You could have taken all of John Wick if we took all of Kill Bill, because it literally is one really long movie.
It is, but like the revenge is just like really only in the first film, and after that,
it is literally
he killed the people that killed his dog that represented love and loss and all these other things, all these other emotions, and the consequences is different from the revenge for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair.
It's more political, and in that world, that's political. You broke this contract,
so now they're all trying to get revenge on him.
That's a reach.
That is not a reach.
To me, it is. Anyways, it made my list. Nonetheless, I could have put Death Wish. Either one of them.
Could have.
Bruce Willis dropping bowling balls on motherfuckers.
That shit was so funny.
Mr. Bronson. But, anyways, I could have put a Western on here too.
Action
A lot of it. I like him. You like him?
He's alright.
Anyways, tell us your top 5 favorite revenge movies down in the comment section below. Will The Northman make yours? We don't know because it's not out yet. But it will be soon, and I cannot wait to watch it. Scroll back up, hit the like button, share the video. And subscribe.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.